Alright, guys. You got me back? Hold on. Make sure my mic is on. Yep, it's on. Everybody hear me? Okay. Well, Angelo, what's up? Okay, guys. So, yeah. I'm back. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, I didn't expect to see that. And I didn't realize I was on for 2 hours either. So, just so you know, it actually kind of looks like we might be getting another little burst here. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know how big or bad it's going to end up again. You know, all I can do is show it to you guys, and we'll go from there, all right? You're looking at it for the first time with me. I haven't seen it yet. Hey, Marie, what's up? Me too, Ty. Hey, Bob. Okay. Hold it down the Bronx, baby. Christine. Okay, so let's just get to it here real quick, guys. And again, I want to respect your guys' time and those that don't have it. I mean, I get it, okay? And that's why. But this here is the first one. Just so everybody knows. It's not going to update the second one yet. Let me just refresh that page real quick and see what it does. Yeah, that's still the first one. You know, the question was asked, though, could that second one, that's what caused me to look at it again. Could the second one catch up to the first one? Absolutely. It most certainly can, and they do sometimes. And when they do that, it generates what they call an interplanetary shockwave. Sometimes it's the magnetic field of each individual atom interacting with each other. It's a pushing effect instead of a crashing into. And they were able to catch that about 1.5 years, 2 years ago now, I think. For the first time, they were able to see it happen in our solar system. And it causes a little bit of a boost in the energy that's generated. So, with that being said, yeah. So, let's just, I guess we can just jump into it here. There's one thing I didn't show you guys earlier. Matter of fact, let me point this out real quick, okay? Guys, we did have a little bit of an uptick here. Not going to go into details. Just wanted to show that to you. So we'll get over here to the space weather real quick. And this is for people that didn't get to see the first stream. Okay, this is going to be like this real quick at the beginning. For those that don't know, I'm changing the format of what I'm doing. I'm going to put the data at the beginning. And then we'll talk later in more in depth for those that want to hang out. So anyway, you got this, guys. It looks like, you know, I showed you guys this one. This was the first one. Remember, these are not big flares. This is producing a little bit of X-ray. These are basically filaments popping off and eruptions, okay? Here's one that just happened while I was streaming. So, geomagnetic activity currently is low. We don't like it that low because cosmic rays can sometimes get in. And then you got, here's the Enlil spiral. This is NOAA's version of it. The one I just showed you over here is NASA. Okay? This is basically the same kinds of things. It's just trying to show it to you in a different way. This one predicts, or tries to forecast 5 days in front, and this one is 2 days behind. Now, I can tell you this 2 days historically what actually happened. Now, let me say this, okay, about this one that just erupted. We're not going to be able to see too much updated data yet. That just happened while I was streaming. You guys seen it happen, anybody that was here. It takes them a minute for them to start loading this stuff up. But one thing I do want to do is we didn't look at seeds. So I'm gonna shut some of this stuff off because it kills my bit rate. What's this? Okay, there's that. I'm gonna shut the earthquakes off. We can kill this too. Okay, yeah, we can kill Wendy also. Okay, so anyway, this is most definitely not going to show us what just happened. This might show us the first one. And it kind of does. See, watch right here on the end. Remember what I said that was, right, guys? That's Mercury. At least that's what it looks like from my from where I can read the star chart and stuff. That's in the right spot. So you see it jump there a little bit. That's missing time. So just so you know, it's not skipping through there like a rock. So let's stop this right here. I'm gonna back it up. This is stereo A. Remember, this is well, I got this one pulled up. See this right here? That's stereo A. This is Earth. That's the perspective we're looking at right now. So if I go back, where was I at? Let's see. So this is what we're looking at. So that satellite's right here, which puts Earth right about here. Now, yes, way far away, not that close, but you can see this little jet right here? It looks to be a little bit of activity, and let me show it to you on the red view also. You can see that too, right? So cool the Earth down? No, rain ain't gonna do nothing to that for that, Dawn. Not at all. Rain is yeah. So anyway. Hey Carrie, what's up? Medicine back in the house. Christine's in there. Taylor. So yeah, so you can see right here where this actually did. So I'll back it up some. You can see it start. Remember that black occulter has to be there, that black disc, or we wouldn't even get a capture at all. See how that builds right here? Watch. See it? So that's definitely the first one. Now, we're not going to be able to see the second one. Not on this tool. Now, let's check it out here. Probably even show up here a little bit. It'll be right here if it does. Yep, see that? That's that first one you seen was that one that went off the top side, I think. So if we do this, see that one happens? And this is the one that's basically coming our direction. It's one NASA says is coming our direction, right? Here, that one. Okay? And then you got the second one that happens after that. Well, it ain't going to have it on this one. So what we'll do, we can go over here to ISWA, and we can take a look at all this on different angstroms. I'm going to zoom in some. And we're going to, we will update this as we go. Okay? This is what I would typically be doing before I got on stream with you guys. Okay? I would do this is the stuff that it takes. You see how fast I did that? Got back online? I had to go make a thumbnail and everything, and that's why it took me a second. Didn't take me like a buttload of time, but it took enough time. So you can imagine just changing that little thumbnail. That's what took me like 5 minutes to get back to you guys. Just something as small as that. That should give you an idea of what kind of time it takes to do what we do here. Yeah, Dawn, no fear though. No fear at all, okay? Can't fear stuff we can't control. And this isn't like catastrophic stuff, okay? There's nothing to fear here. Promise you. Now, should we be aware and concerned sometimes? Absolutely. But there's no fear ever. All we can do is react to what we see or be proactive. All right? So no fear, please. If you're ever watching this kind of stuff, no matter if you're watching me or somebody else, and you truly experience fear, I would love for you to shut it off immediately and don't come back until you're able to not feel that. Because you're not doing yourself any good, and matter of fact, you're probably hurting people. Hurting yourself. Mentally. And anybody around you if you're really scared. But anyway, let's take a look at this. And I say that with all the love I possibly can. I don't want anybody listening to me being scared. I really don't. You know, I'm not here for that. People that want to do that, I guarantee you, they're just looking for the views. Let's see what we got. Look at that one. That's substantial, guys. That's clearly a, even looking at it on here, on this angstrom, the 171, that's clearly a filament eruption there, it looks to be. Or it just got so destabilized, the sun itself erupted and busted that line as it went out. Let's find out. Yeah, look at that. Okay, I want you guys to see something here. I'm zoomed in pretty close. Matter of fact, I can get even closer, I think. Yep, one more. I know we're in here dialing right up into this thing, but, you know, that is what it is. Menacing, I don't know if this one will yet or not. The first one says it is. This is basically in the same direction, guys. But I don't know yet because it just happened. It could be going south, north. It doesn't look to be going east or west of us. If it's going to miss us altogether, it would have to really be going down south or north of us. Most likely south because it's down here in the southern hemisphere. But remember, as this plasma gets ejected off the sun, the further away from the sun it gets, the further it spreads out. It's like firing a shotgun. You know, if anybody's ever fired a shotgun, you got a bullet pattern, right? Well, some have a big wide pattern, some have a big tight core. A lot of that has to do with how close you are to your target and what kind of gun you're using, right? So the gun we're using is an eruption on the sun. But we know the distance we are away from it, 93 million miles, so we can kind of gauge. That's why. So anyway, let's watch that again right here. Let me, I'm sorry I have to do it this way, but if I don't do it this way, it won't let me move my screen with my cursor. Like I said, guys, I'm on my laptop on the TV tray, sitting on my couch doing this. I don't have a studio or anything like that. I don't have two screens or anything. And when you guys see me on camera the few times that I am, I'm using my computer camera. I don't have a webcam or a camera that I specifically use for live streaming like most people do. I try to give you guys the best quality picture and stuff I can. I think I do a fairly good job, you know, with what I've got. Okay, so notice we want to know where that came from. Right here, right? There's no bright spots around there at all. I mean, it's close enough, but whatever happened here, it's reacting with something over here, that connection line, but something was probably getting ready to pop up there, different polarity. That's probably why it busted, but it looks to be like it activated. See what's happening? And you see how it's starting to get bright here? Because all those charged particles are going back down that magnetic connection line, except for the ones that get flipped out. See? And then you get, some of it looks like it might be getting recaptured anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, the sun's the backdrop here, and that's why it's hard to see it. And there at the end, you can see where this actually picked up, got destabilized, and was like a jet right here. So we get the eruption. So yeah, I mean, it's still ongoing, by the way, just so everybody understands that. This just happened. So I don't have a whole lot of great answers for you if it's coming right at us or any of that mess. But, you know, we'll do the best we can with what we got right here. Let's check it out right there. Wow, guys. That's impressive. Now, again, guys, I can't tell you how much of that left the sun. It's hard to see. It's going to be hard to know until we start getting imaging from stereo A and all that. But watch right here. We'll look at it again. Wow. Check it out. Pretty cool, huh? See how it goes on out? You see how it looks like it's dissipating? Now, we don't know, like I said, guys. Now, something else I want to point out. You see this filament over here? That's on the other side of the limb? That thing right there is reacting too right now. So this could have destabilized that or vice versa. Who knows? But I have to point out, guys, that I said even in my last stream how it was even up here on the right corner of the sun. So it's almost like something is destabilizing all of it. It's just simple activity on the sun. I just don't know exactly where it's, the actual start of it was. But you can see how this here looks like it might even be bam. Okay, so yeah. Now we got, like I said, guys, this is going to be something we're just going to take, really look at and to see how it all ends up, Let's, again, we'll take a look at that again here. Right about there. Look at that. Wham. Now we're looking at it on this one. You guys notice how different the quality of the picture is between this and SDO? Now this is the SDO camera, but I'm talking about the SDO site. Okay? Oh man, sometimes I wish, Sleeve. Thank you. So yeah, check it out. Ain't that cool? Wham! I mean, I don't know what to say about that anymore. I mean, but this down here too, guys, remember, like I said, this is plasma up here, guys. Now again, they're traveling on magnetic connection lines. All right? That's why we can see them really well when they're on the, with space as the background. But when you got sun as the background, it's hard to tell. And that's why we need all the tools we can possibly get to look at. And this is what we're seeing. So this is substantial. Again, this is nothing like some sort of a big, huge, like X flare or something like that. But this really didn't even flare. Okay? A little, I guess. It just didn't produce too much X-ray. I can tell you that. See? It didn't even get to C class. I mean, that's not a flare in my opinion. It looks like an eruption with a filament release thereafter. And, I'm not sure if they consider that a quote-unquote flare of any sort. But typically with a flare, you'll see a flash and then the eruptions come after. If you watch this, let's back this up. And we'll see when it starts. Watch when it starts. You guys see how it's moving already? You're not seeing any bright spots, right? You don't see any bright spots until about halfway through it. So the eruption itself is really what caused, that to quote-unquote flare up just a little. Yeah, Brandy. That's a lot of people. Yeah. 9th of AV is in August. Not sure what AV is. But yeah, guys, that's an impressive one. Now, let me say this too, okay? Now, I'm going to assume that NASA is correct with this model. Okay? That's the first one. So if this one, and that's not a baby, okay? That's not a monster either, but if that really hits us, pretty decent, and then this is right behind it, and it's coming at us too, that can really push up. So yeah. What you got there, Nikita? So a filament snap will cause solar winds, and we on Earth don't have anything to expect on the Earth itself. Well, that's not entirely the way it is. So let me explain it to you this way. Yeah, the filament snapped, which in turn shot plasma out. Now, quote unquote, solar wind is actually usually produced from a coronal hole, and it's a steady stream of plasma coming out. It's not a concentrated ball like this is. Okay, that's really what you're seeing here. Now, I know they look like lines, but it's a concentrated area of them. And the one that happened about a week or two ago that didn't come at us, and it was behind the limb a little bit. It really was very concentrated. And it was bright all the way till it went off the screen. And they usually don't do that. So we knew that one was intense. But solar wind is just what I just said. It is the plasma, charged particles, I guess if you want to get technical, charged particles that follow a magnetic connection line between us and the sun. Okay? And it's constantly throwing it at us. You don't have to have a coronal hole to get those particles either. There's always some hanging around. Alright? That's, it's evident when we look at the, you're welcome. When you look at the magnetopause models. That's what they're showing you. Okay? It's like the bow shock I was talking about earlier. Let me pull that one back up real quick so I can just show you to explain. People talk about a bow shock, right? The bow shock is nothing more than when the solar wind hits our magnetic field. That's the first thing it hits, right? The bow shock. Just like when you're in a boat, we all thought, we've all seen those, right? I mean, that's pretty much where they got the name from, I would think. It's bow too. It's not bow. It's not I know it's in the shape of a bow, but it's not a bow shock. It's really a bow shock. But notice on here, and I showed this earlier, you see how you got this showing up here? You can see a clear difference of the speed. This is just speed. So this is always hanging around. If there was no solar wind at all, you wouldn't see any of this. All this has to be here, and this is what this model is showing you. So right now, the solar wind speed, what's it say it is? I'd have to look at it. Well, if you look at the graph here, you look at the key, that would be 300 kilometers per second, that color there. So, if there was none of that, you would see zero, pretty much. The whole thing would be one color, that zero color. So it's always here. It's always present. We're always getting that. And our magnetic field's reacting with it, and that's what causes the bow shock. And then what's behind the bow shock? Well, the rest of the components of our magnetic field, including the magnetopause, all that stuff, right? And there's a lot of different components in here, guys. I've never really broken down the layers of what's actually going on behind the bow shock because it is pretty complicated. Yeah, Sharon, 300 kilometers per second, that's actually on the low end, believe it or not. It sounds really fast, doesn't it? Because it is. You know, in technical speed, that's fast for what we would think about here on Earth. But anything of what's normal solar wind speed would be between 300 and 500 kilometers per second. But notice, guys, here on the density, this is what this is showing us, density. You guys see that bow anywhere? It's here. Why don't we see it here? Well, because the density on both sides of the bow shock is roughly the same until you get down to here. That's why we don't see it here. And I said this in my last stream. Don't ever think that that's not going to be there. If somebody says, red alert, red alert, red alert, bow shock, earth shield's down, earth shield's down, earth shield's down. I've seen that. And it drives me nuts when people do that. You know, and don't get me wrong, I've made mistakes and done things like that myself. And for the most part, I've left all those videos and stuff up. I've just been fortunate enough to have learned and educated a little bit on what's going on. And it's taken me a long time. I don't erase my mistakes. I want people to see my mistakes so they can learn from it too. And know that it's okay to make those mistakes and we can still grow and learn from it. But anyway, so you got, again, this is what's going on with that. So, but to answer your question, what we're seeing right now, essentially, if you get down, I guess technically, it would be, the difference is it's just more concentrated. And that's blowing off, you know, in a big ball. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that, guys. That was pretty, that's pretty intense stuff there. I mean, again, I don't know if it's going to be real strong or anything. It looks like it's sizable. It doesn't look like it's, how can I say this? A baby in no way, shape, or form. Thanks, Nicole. I appreciate you guys. I really do. You know, I talk a lot about, you know, I usually don't address things unless things get negative. And what I fail to tell you guys is that, and I'm sorry for this because I really try not to do this, but for every negative comment that's in my comment section or whatever said to me, I get 15, 20, 30, 40 positive ones. Okay? So just know that that really matters to me. It really does help me. Even if you just drop down in the comment section and say, hey, thanks, Wages. Good to see you. God bless. Whatever, you know. It really does. Without that, I wouldn't be here. I would not stick around. I would not be here. I promise you. Because there's so many things that could have just made me just walk away a long time ago. Believe me. But yeah. So, thanks, Google. Cool, Missy. Good to see you. Damn. Love right back at you. That's right, E-Rock. What's up? Hey, Bob. Love people. Good name. Thanks, love. Brenda. Yeah, Brenda. That's a good idea. And I will. I've actually, you know, I've been working on. Hey, Ax, what's up, bud? Wolfie. Hey, I am listening to your music. I just haven't had a chance to respond. I haven't really looked at my emails for a few days. I started getting a bunch of emails about the wind flow of different directions and stuff. And so I did a video about a week ago, but then after that, I got a couple more, so I addressed that again. I really haven't looked at my emails for a couple days. I need to go over and check them out. You send me another one or something, dude? If you did, I'll go check it out. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate you. Really do. Yeah, guys, and like I said, I have to say, hey, Sig, what's up? Send you back your 50 cents. You get your... Love it. Love it, dude. Love it. You the man, dude. You the man. Man, I tried to give Pires a love bomb tonight, man. It's freaking internet. All right, cool, Wolfie. Thanks, Susie. But yeah, I mean, guys, really, and I seriously mean this. I learned so much more from you guys, and I get so much more from you guys than I could ever give. And that's why I'm still here. I promise you. I have no other, I've been attacked very, very nasty before, okay? And I've just learned that, you know, and I used to think people were crazy for saying these kinds of things. It's like, you know, just don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you. Well, we're human. You know? Eventually it's going to bother you. But at the same time, and whether you're a biblical person or a Christian or whatever your walk of life is, you know, it says in the Bible, Jesus went into the house of the sinner to save them. He didn't waste his time going to the house of the saved. So the way I look at it, if I'm here for people that don't know anything and they're being negative and slamming me, well, maybe one or two things that I say may help them, and maybe they'll come back around the other way. I don't know. I'll never know. But that's okay. So, yeah. There's 9 billion opinions out there, yeah? What do they say? How do they say it? Well, I won't say that because it's kind of nasty. People are like, what is it? Yeah, people are like buttholes. Everybody has one. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. Something like that. Yeah. Anyway. Sorry. But yeah, I just try to do the best I can, guys. And that's just all it is. And I promise, it really is. And, you know, and I said this in one of my last streams, that I try to walk a line between, you know, what we do as far as going against the grain and mainstream stuff, right? You know what that does to me? That opens me up to attack from both sides. And that's just the truth. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything about that. I'm just saying that's really what it is. And I don't want it really to be any other way, because that means that I'm getting to both sides. You see what I'm getting at? But anyway, watch this thing right here. And what I want you guys to watch is watch the other parts around the sun, how they're reacting at the same time. Even up here. I mean, it's going on the whole thing. Watch. I mean, it was like, wow, look at that shockwave. That thing's coming. That's definitely going to hit us, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it now. It's centered right here. Remember, the Earth's just sitting barely to the north of the equator of the sun, as far as in line with it. That's where we're at in our orbit right now, because it's summertime. Watch this. Watch the wave go through the whole front of the sun. Back it up. See that? You guys see how it's disturbing everything all the way out this far? I mean, that's pretty impressive, guys. I mean, I ain't trying to blow it out of proportion, because I simply don't know how strong this one is yet. We really, truly have to wait on the data. I'm not going to get impatient and come out here and make some big claim. That's just not what I do. So, but watch this. Watch, before the first one happened, watch all these other areas of the sun start moving. You'll see them start getting bright. See that one? That's the first one. Watch down here. You'll see the first eruption. You back it up a little bit and take a look at it again. Here it goes, right there. See that? And then we go forward. You see this start reacting. Watch. I'm going to back it up. See that? Even though it didn't erupt, you can see the activity move, and then watch it erupt up here. Well, I must have went too far. Yeah, I did. So here's the first eruption at the bottom. Then the middle, right there. And the top, basically at the same time. Okay? So it almost looked like it got disrupted down here, and it went this way and disrupted things all the way through. And then after that, then you get the bigger one right there. Now I want to point something out here that it really is kind of surprising. It doesn't mean that this isn't normal. It just means it's kind of surprising. The fact that we've got, well, it's probably better to show you on the 171. Okay, if you were to not know that eruption just happened, and you come over here and you look at this capture, and somebody asked you, hey, if the sun's going to erupt again, where's it going to happen at? Where would you point to? You would most definitely point to one of these brighter areas, right? I mean, would that make sense? The best chance of an eruption happening. Okay, so let me make a point here. The first one we just took that NASA shows going to come our way was down here, and it was not from a bright spot or from an active area. At least if I remember correctly. Well, it was, I guess. That one was. Yeah, that one did. Kind of from right here. Okay, I know it doesn't, but it wasn't all that great. But if we move forward, and you see the second one, do you see anything there? You don't, do you? Now watch. Wham. See where that comes from? So what I'm saying is that just because there is not an active sunspot that we can see, doesn't mean that the sun is not active just barely under the surface. And I would bet, and this is just my opinion, I don't know if there's any science behind that if we get a big eruption or some sort of disturbance that erupts just below the surface, it might blow more plasma out. I don't know. Now, I'm not really saying a bigger one, Jared. I mean, I could never say that. And let me explain. Now, let me tell you this, because I can take you here and do this too. Let me see if I remember where to go for that. Yeah, I remember now. It's over here on this one. Matter of fact. So, if you guys ever go over here on this one, you look at it, right? You guys over here navigating this website. Go to the solar tab. Okay? You see this? ASP flare monitor? Click on that. What's this going to show you? This is going to show you the sunspots and their chances of whatever class flare they think could possibly happen. Now, I'm not really sure exactly how accurate this thing is or what its, track record is. I haven't looked at it all that much, just to be honest with you. But it will give you some sort of a solar flare probability and those kinds of things, right? Around whatever the active sunspots are that are official. You can put this in a time lapse also, just like the movie I show you guys all the time. You'll see these kind of blink in and out. See that? So what they're showing you here, that was, wow, I don't know why they're doing that. But these aren't official sunspots, I don't think. These are just like areas of the sun that this tool is watching. That's the 27th. So yeah. So you see how this chart over here moved? You can see this up here moving. So you guys can take a look at that if you wanted to. The other thing that we can look at that I don't show you, and I should show you more often, is not that one. This one's the one I was looking for, I think. Yeah, I think so. This one. Now, I don't know that this one's going to update, guys. It doesn't look like it is. I don't know why this isn't updating, but it's not. So, we don't have anything here to look at. There's other places to look at this, though, too. There's even a Filament one right here. And I find this one hard to use. It hasn't updated since the 16th either. I bet there's something going on with these tools. Here's the detected coronal holes. That one hasn't updated either. Let's put... Yeah. 716. I don't know why that's not updating, but it's not. So those two tools aren't working. So, yeah. But you can, like that flare monitor I just showed you. But you can go over here and play around, guys. You can get to a lot of different places. But we can look at it on SDO, the continuums. These are cool. Like this right here. This is the one from SDO. And if you guys really look at this, you can go down, like zoom in. And what you're seeing here is you're seeing positive and negative areas of the sun. So when you start seeing these things get surrounded by different polarities and things, you better know you're getting ready to have something. Typically, anyway. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely see it. And if you look at them, this is where the active areas are, right? I mean, I don't show you guys that enough. I really should, because it does help explain quite a few things. That's a colored version of it, but you can also look at this one here. Now, a lot of people will show you this one, and I don't like this one, but you know, my opinion. That's all. It's hard to see a lot of it. Here's a magnetogram. These are actually pretty cool. You get the contrast of black and white. These are really easy to see, actually. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar to looking at the red view on seeds versus the black and white view. So, time of arrival, don't know. All I can tell you is the first one. And it's just an estimate from what NASA showed us. Okay? And that would be right here. There are data sites that you can go to. I used to know how to get to one, and I can't find my link. I don't know where it's at. But you can look at this and then look at the just kind of keep your eye on this at the same time. So right around the 29th, 30th, the first one should be impacting. Is what it's saying here. Probably closer to the 30th, if I had to say. And then the one behind it, depending on how fast it's moving. Sometimes they can catch up and actually become one. And if that happens at that specific time, say it catches up to it right as it's getting to us, that can actually, hey Tom, what's up? Good to see you, brother. I don't know about the Parker Solar Probe data, but it's here. They've got it in motion right now. Sometimes this thing will hang out in an area for a while, and then other times they'll send it. I'm not sure exactly what they're sending it to do at this point. I know it's out there collecting data. I mean, that's a 100%. You got Osiris right here too. That's over here on the backside. I'm not really familiar with that one, so I really don't even want to talk or comment about that, because I don't want to say something wrong there and get, have people thinking something that it's not. But that is behind, okay? So if they are getting data back here, it would be from that. Now, I would assume that they would have to move this from out behind the sun to get line of sight with the Earth so we can get its data. I'm not sure if it's able to, maybe communicate with another satellite and then that satellite bounce it over to Earth. I would guess if that's possible, they would do that. That way they wouldn't have to move this thing. But, I don't know exactly how that works, but that definitely would make sense to me. Like, say it was sitting just in this setup right here. What if it was able to send a signal to Stereo A? And then Stereo A, in turn, took that same data and sent it to us. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? You alright, bud? What's up, Daniel? You okay, man? You in here? Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, bud. That's horrible. I'm not even going to go down that road. That sucks, man. I hate to hear that about anybody. Fighting for kids and stuff. Is that what's going on? Yeah, it's not a good thing, man. But yeah. How long we been on here? 45 minutes already? Wow. I just did 2 hours. It's been a long time since we did this, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this thing to go this long. I guarantee you there'll be people down in the comment section. You've been on too long. You're babbling. You're waffling. I'm trying not to do that. Remember, I put all the data at the beginning. And I would never have done this second one if we hadn't seen that. So, who was asking me about saying something about that? Somebody asked me a question, and we went and looked at this again, and that's when we caught that second one. Wow, man, this is cool. I don't care what anybody says. Isn't that, is that just, is it me, or is it, what is it, I can't help but, think that this is cool at some level. Especially if it doesn't hurt anybody or anything. So if we go forward, I wanted to see something here. I'll be praying for you, Daniel, okay? I hate to hear any of that kind of crap. I really do. It's hard with kids and stuff, especially if that's what's going on. I don't know if it is or not. Yeah, ain't it, Carrie? I'm glad you said that. Yeah, it was a substantial ripple, wasn't it, Julie? For sure. When's it going to hit? The second one, this one here, I can't tell you, I don't know, but according to NASA, it looks like right around the 30th, the first one. This one would be right behind it. So, 30th, 31st, give or take. There is some, built-in, how can I put this? Built-in discrepancies, I guess. I can't find the word. Well, thanks, Ty. I appreciate that. Can I take it higher up? Yeah. You want to see this up here? I can do that for you. That was, guys, let me tell you. This one down here that just popped off, this one up here was just as big. We just didn't see it because it's behind the lens. Okay? That's why, guys. That's the only reason why we didn't see that whole thing. Now, I want to say something I can't say for sure, but this doesn't look like a flare either. Now, if you remember a couple days ago when I did a stream before today, I was talking about all the filaments that were on the front side of the sun. And I don't know why we were seeing a lot of filaments. And that's what's popping right now, it looks like. That's probably why we're not seeing the, quote unquote flare. These filaments are popping. That's almost textbook filament bust. Look at that. It's like right in the middle. See it? Remember, think of it kind of like a light bulb, an old style light bulb with a filament in the middle. When it goes out, what happens? Well, it busts in the middle, right? But this is also a good way to show that, here I'll go forward, you'll see how some of that is almost always recaptured by the sun. Watch what happens. Watch right up in here. I'll just scroll down a little bit so you guys can see that. But, well, you know what? Let's just... I'll go do that. Huh. Let me, Okay. So watch right in here. You can actually see it. Once it pops, you'll see a lot of it come back down, and it looks like solar rain, because that's exactly what it is. So if I go forward, which is the way I'm going now. You see how it's erupting off? It's got like a center point, right? And you're not seeing some big flash there. But it could be far enough on the other side of the limb there that we wouldn't see it anyway. So I can't say for sure if there's a flare with that or not. And honestly, at this point, it really doesn't matter because that's not coming at us. But as this pops off, watch what happens. See, it goes out. Now watch this. See how it's kind of starting to break up? And you're starting to see like little dots. Now watch what happens. See, it's coming back down now. What's that look like? Looks like rain, doesn't it? It's solar rain. Look at that. Obviously, I went backwards there for a second to get us back here. But you can see how that filament's flipping out. It's snapping, like, it's coming up this way and then kind of snapping back this way, right? And that's exactly what this other one looked like. So see how it flips out, but then you see how it just almost, when it gets to its apex at the top, it almost immediately starts coming back down to the surface. Because that's charged particles. It's magnetism, and it's getting pulled back in. Yep, plasma rain. Exactly, menacing. It's called solar rain. And if we looked hard enough, I bet we could find some solar vortexes too. So that would be what a lot of people would call solar tornado or whatever. And I want to point something out about that too. When we do see those, even though they look like they're spiraling, they are actually spiraling. But what is spiraling? Hey Rose, what's up? Hey Trish. Bobby, Dano. Anyway, what it's spiraling in is the magnetic connection line. So the line itself is that shape. So when the plasma or charged gas, charged particle, takes that road, it's going to look like it's spinning. And it's really not. Not like we would think of a tornado here on our planet. Okay? We'll see if we can find one here. Might be able to. Never know. Let's go look over here. You'll see them a lot on the edges, on the limbs, because again, space is the background, guys. We'll look at this in a minute. Let's click on that. Go up here. Let's look here. This might be a good place to see. Yep. You see that right there? I know it's not real evident, but that thing is actually spiraling. It's taking that shape. See it? But it's not wind, guys. It's charged particles just traveling that magnetic connection line that's in that shape. Look at that, guys. I mean, that's just freaking awesome. Notice, like I said, guys, this one back here was doing its thing too. And then the one on the other side of the sun, this is what we're talking about. We're getting into solar maximum. We're heading that way. We're not there. Don't get it twisted. But this is what we can expect. Things like this are going to happen. So, I don't know, menacing. I really don't. I mean, because it's happening all over the sun. So, what's up, Muse? Tina? It's going to be really, really hard to pinpoint that kind of stuff as we get into maximum because, you know, it's just going to be really active no matter what. I mean, it's as simple as that. But anyway, guys, I think I am going to go ahead and get off of here, guys. I've been on here way too long. I didn't really expect to be on here this long. But we get that second thing happening right there. I tell you what. Man, Daniel, getting your kids that far away would suck, brother. I'm sorry. Wow. So watch this up here, and then watch it happen down here, guys. I mean, it's just happening I'm gonna push play. We'll just watch it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Look at that. I mean, and again, and there's no doubt somebody's going to tell somebody I'm fear-mongering over this. At any given time, I would challenge anybody to point out in this video where I was fear-mongering. Matter of fact, I was actually saying it was beautiful and cool. I mean, and I told people in my last stream, don't be fearful, don't ever be like that. You know? It is, isn't it, bud? For sure. I mean, it is just, wow. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Anya. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys. I really do. You guys are awesome. I can't. Exactly, Trish. Exactly. So, we're going to leave it at that. Now, again, guys, if you guys want to go look at this stuff for yourself, please do. I encourage that every time because I don't want anybody to ever just simply take my word for it. And there's reasons for that, and I will say real quick what that is. The main reason is because if you see it with your own eyes, if you physically have to go do it, you will remember it more. That's awesome, Muse. Love it. But yeah, so and then it also will at least give you, hey, I looked at that and what I see is or is not what Wages World was saying. And then you can, kind of compare the two. It doesn't mean either one of us are wrong. You know what I mean? But maybe we can help each other. And that's kind of where I'm at with this kind of stuff. I'm done fighting with people over especially big subjects. What I've found, think about this, guys. On the big subjects, like the big controversial subjects we talk about throughout this whole community, has anything changed? Anybody's mind? Think about that for a second. Now, yes, there's no reason to stop doing what we do or anything like that. But especially when it gets real nasty and mean towards one another, that never changes anything. It just causes people not to watch. And I know there's a lot of thinking on both sides of that. And people, they think you have to defend this and defend that and defend this. Well, something I figured out through this whole walk that I've been on with this is the fact that if it's true, nobody has to defend it. Because it will most certainly, at the end of the day, prove itself true. Hey, buddy, so what's going on? It's okay, I was getting ready to get off. I've been on for almost 3 hours. 2 different streams. We had a couple different filaments bust off. One happened while I was on stream, so I restarted the stream. But I have no desire to try to convince anybody of anything. What's up, frustrated? Oh man, I don't. I don't want. I'm not trying to convince anybody anything. I just want to show them what I think is what is actually going on. And if they have a different view of what I've got, I want to know. Because maybe I'm wrong. And I really think that if people out there that are screaming at you, I mean just flat screaming, calling you names, and I'm not just talking about one-on-one, I'm talking like the whole subscriber base. Calling you names, calling you stupid, and I can't believe you're doing this, and I can't believe you're doing that, and why would you think this, and why would you think that? Well, you know what I say to that? Well, you know what? At least they're thinking about something. And that's the point, right? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? And yeah, you just said it right on the head right there, Sleeve. Observation is the key. And, you know, we make the observation, but then the arguments come in after that. And that's where the biggest problem is. We make an observation, and then it doesn't matter what the observation is. There's going to be people on both sides of it. Or maybe on all 8 sides of it. There's going to be 8 different opinions on what caused that observation. You know what I mean? It just doesn't do any good to scream and yell at people. Especially when you sit there and say you're trying to do it out of love or helping somebody. And then the very next thing you say or your next video is doing nothing but calling people stupid and idiots and stuff. I mean, come on, man. What you got here? This is exactly what I've been looking for. Blessings and thank you so much. Everyone I found is showing mostly 6-hour-old data, just asking a chance to turn off breakers and get underground if needed. Yeah, you know, guys, I don't think that that's what this would be right now. Just so you guys know. Everyone needs to remember that humans have lived without electricity for thousands of years. It's only been widely used for less than 200 years. Just get the tools you need now before any outage. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And again, when we're talking about see what you're talking about. By then. Huh? Am I missing something? Good to see you frustrated. Defrustrated. So yeah, I mean it's just I don't know. You know, Hummingbird's making some good points there too. You know, guys, let me say this too. You know, he makes a comment here. It says, just so everybody hears it or sees it or whatever for the video. Says and make contacts with farmers near you. I would say outside of anything, you need to do that anyway. Make sense? Yeah, I got you, man. I caught on to that. That's why I stopped. But yeah, on the farmer thing or any of that, right? I would say we need to do that no matter if there's catastrophe coming or not. And that's what I've done with my whole prepping regiment thing that I do here personally for myself, me, my wife, and my family. You know, I do what I think is what I need to do. And I stop. It really truly is an individual thing. And it's going to, and most people would agree, it's going to vary. Wide range, you know, even from dislocation would change what you needed. And that's the whole thing, though, you know. If you're somewhere where you think you can, what they call bugging in, that's definitely a good thing to be. You know, but there's a whole lot of things that have to be there for that to happen. You got bad service, frustrating. Yeah, that's frustrating. Sorry, it's kind of corny. So yeah, I'll give you some updates, Bob, later on today if I need to. So yeah, and Bobby here says something too. You know, electricity, guys. A lot of us think that is something that's a necessity. It's actually not. I know that most of us, including myself, have never known a world without massive amounts of electrical use on everything that we do. It just progressively gets worse. We're getting more and more tied to it. You know, I know we say we're tied to technology. We're more so tied to electricity. And I think that people really, really, really need to understand that. That's what needs to be said. Because electricity means a whole lot of things go and gone quickly. You know, you can lose your cell phone or whatever and still be okay and not have to really worry about a whole lot. Your power goes out completely, you're done. If you're not ready for it. So just so you know, I mean, that's my opinion again. So yeah, guys, I am going to get off here. Prayers to everybody in there, Daniel. Yeah, your situation sucks, man. Definitely prayers for everybody. So, and anybody else in here that needs it, right back at you. So, and thank you guys for coming back for the second part of this. Again, this one even went longer than I thought, but hey, you know, we were talking about stuff, and it is what it is. I may even put out a little video here in a minute. I'm going to do a recorded one probably and post it. Space weather conditions and these eruptions. So, if you guys see that, please come back and watch it too. Guys, do me a favor. I never asked for this kind of stuff. I do have a goal, and the goal is, and don't get this twisted, it's just a marker for me in my own head how well I'm doing for everybody. I'm trying to get to, 50K subs by the end of the year. I'm pretty close. I'm getting close to 48. And, I just think it would be cool because, you can't find too many channels out there that are, that size that, haven't monetized the channel yet, because monetization pushes you out there more in the algorithm. And, so yeah, which I don't know if that's, I need to look at some of the stuff on that too, just so everybody understands. Because now that YouTube can advertise on any video at once, including one that you got demonetized, I wonder if they've taken that parameter out of the algorithm. Make sense? What I'm saying is maybe they took that restriction off of the algorithm because it simply doesn't matter to them now. Because they can advertise on whatever they want. It's just kind of what I was thinking. Hey, Rampage, good to see you. So yeah, guys. But I'm going to go ahead and get off. Hey, Renee. PCM, what's up? So, hey, George, what's up? Christina's still here. Listen, guys, again, do me a favor and come back and drop a comment, even if it's, hey, I hate your video. I mean, I don't really care, to be honest with you, on as far as if it's going to be hate or whatever. But, I like to hear the good things because that does perk me up and it makes me feel good, even if it's just really short. But it does help get the video out if you drop more comments. I don't typically even ask for stuff like that. But I would like to get to 50K by the end of the year. It's like 4 or 5 months away now. I think it's possible. We'll wait and see, I mean, I don't want to say, hey, go share my video and all this other kind of thing. I mean, if you want to, sweet. But I don't want to push that. It's not something I'll ever push. I wouldn't want somebody to share my information or share my videos unless they wanted to. That's just the fact of the matter. Because I just, well, cool. Good to see you, JJ. Glad you're here. Hope you like it here. I think you'll find that, not me, but everybody in there are very, very good people to be around. And, back at you, buddy. Yeah, I would love to get there, Tom. I mean, my overall goal, guys, I would like to be one of the first people around here to get a silver play button that doesn't monetize. They might not even give me one. They probably wouldn't. But that's, yeah. Yeah, I don't really get into that, I think you guys kind of understand that, Rand. Most everybody that's here understands I don't do that. That's something that my channel's big enough now I could have already did that. And I don't. I don't fall into any of that. And that's the thing. We don't want to just blanketly label people either. Just because they have a big YouTube channel doesn't make them part of, quote unquote, the man. Okay? As soon as somebody hits a little bit of success on their channel, most people want to really be like, well, he's part of the Illuminati or whatever. It's just not fair to those people. Now, granted, there are some that do that, okay, but there are others that don't, and but it is what it is, Well, thanks, Bay. Appreciate that. What's up, Jared? Oh yeah, Jared. Always, yeah. I mean, if something pops off, guys, listen. There are apps out there too. You guys can go to. I don't personally have one myself. I don't even know what apps to send you to, but you can get alerts. I think you can do that. What channel was it? Anyway, there's channels out there and there's apps out there. Just go into the Play Store and look at it. That will send you an alert to your phone if we get a big flare or CME. So, appreciate you, Silvers. Thank you. But, yeah, hey, Messenger. But, yeah, guys, I am going to go ahead and get off here. This is pretty long, so. Love all y'all. And again, guys, remember, my boy Jerry, we're going to be getting together and doing a video. He's just starting his channel back up, and I want to help him, so. I think you're at the point. Oh, I missed that. Let's see here. Yeah, and that's the thing though, Rand. I don't monetize, so I don't do it for that, That's the whole point, I don't. Yeah. So anyway, hey Willie. Alright guys, I've said it like 5,000 times, but I am going to go ahead and get off here. God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.